Hello and welcome to Ask the Critics. I'm Dave.
And I am Rob, and we're going to be winding down this segment. We started back up Ask the Critics last month to celebrate our 5-year anniversary on YouTube. On this last video, we've gotten a few more questions, and unfortunately, things have come up in my life and in Dave's life, and I apologize that we had to put this video into October and have you guys wait for a long time. But yeah, after this video, we're no longer going to be taking questions for this segment. We're going to end it for now and put it off to the side for now. But if you have any questions you want to ask us personally through the channel, you can do that. Alright, our first question comes from Alberman38. What do you guys think of Christopher Nolan and Stanley Kubrick, and what are your favorite? Interestingly enough, Stanley Kubrick is what I like about both of these directors is that they have very good visual styles to go along with their thought-provoking films. For Stanley Kubrick, I would say for me Clockwork Orange. That's the one where with Malcolm McDowell, where he plays the guy kid who goes through this sort of therapy to try to curb his violence. And it's very interesting because the film talks about goodness and whether therapy can actually stop this behavior. And Kubrick kind of made the movie more about whether psychology can be used as a dangerous weapon by a totalitarian government. So I think there's a lot of stuff now in that movie that I think could be just relevant now, because there's some people complaining that the government is trying to do everything for us here in the U.S. I won't get into the politics of it, but I think some people may find that relevant. For Christopher Nolan, I've seen a lot of his movies. Memento's a good one, but for me, I really enjoyed Batman Begins because I thought it was one of the few Batman movies to get it right. I have a hard time getting into the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher films because they either make it too over the top or they focus more on the villains, the big name actors playing the villains, and not so much on Batman. And sometimes it's all about the action scenes, but Batman Begins did a good job at giving the villain and Batman enough time to go through the backstory and learn about them and really develop the characters. So that's what I liked about those. What about you?
My favorite movies from them, from Kubrick, I like 2001 Space Odyssey. That's always been a good one, especially the scenes like towards the middle end with where the guy's like having trouble with the computer. It's like malfunctioning and mouthing off and talking back. Except for that one scene where it's just a lot of minutes of just like heavy breathing and like no dialogue. That scene kind of pisses me off, but once he starts talking again, yeah, the movie gets like really crazy. And then for the other director, I like Batman, The Dark Knight. I liked how they were able to bring the Joker back and everything. Unfortunately, I mean, with Heath Ledger did a really good job, but unfortunately it was his last film because they say the movie like drove him to suicide and all that because the character was like so dark.
Actually, Dr. Parnassus was his last film, but that was the last completed film that he did. Yeah, because I mean, Heath Ledger had a reputation for going all out into his characters and learning all about them. I understand he kept a journal as the Joker, and I don't know if that really... I know he had problems sleeping because of it. I don't know if that's what drove him to it, but yeah. I know that it did. He really, really went. Yeah. The next question comes from Indy Ovid Films. He wants us to know what our best, least favorite Laurel and Hardy films are from 1940 to 51. For those of you that don't know who Laurel and Hardy are, I got a picture of them right here. They were a very popular comedy team from the 1930s into the 1940s. Many people have, like Dick Van Dyke and many film historians, have called them the best comedy team of all time. And I guess the reason behind this question is they first got together as a team in 1927 as silent films for an independent comedy maker named Hal Roach. They eventually did sound shorts together, then they moved to feature films, but in 1940 Hal Roach decided to produce other types of films, so he let them go. And Laurel and Hardy signed with Fox and MGM, and many diehard Laurel and Hardy fans say that these are their worst films, that the characters are completely different from how they were back when they made their films at Hal Roach. Some people say that that they didn't follow the method of Laurel and Hardy films, like how Laurel liked to work is he liked to work with the directors and the writers, and they wouldn't let him do it at a major studio. But honestly, I did a video on the Fox film, and honestly, I don't think these films are quite as bad. I think there are some moments where you feel like you're watching a Laurel and Hardy movie. For example, my favorite Laurel and Hardy movie is The Bullfighters from 1945. It was the last one they made for Fox, and it was the last one they made in Hollywood, and that one feels more like a Laurel and Hardy movie. You get some nice little situation gags, like a wonderful scene where they're getting annoyed by a guy at a water fountain in a hotel. That one's terrific. And there's another one where they are going after this woman in a bar because they're playing detectives and they have to track this woman down. It turns into a little routine at a bar there. So there's a lot of good moments there. But the least favorite Laurel and Hardy movie from this later period is one they made called Utopia. It came out in '51. I mean, the movie tries to be a satire, like with taking like Laurel and Hardy at the beginning inherit a lot of money in the government and all the lawyers. They take almost all of it away to pay for their fees and all that stuff. I mean, I like the satirical part of it, but for me, it just didn't fit as a Laurel and Hardy movie. And I thought the last shot of the movie to be very depressing, knowing this was the last time they would make a film together. That. But I mean, for the most part, I think the films they made in the '40s have their good moments here and there. What about you, Dave?
My favorite would be Great Guns, where they have like join the army, even though they don't want to, but they have to do it to watch over a friend of theirs who's got some problems, or so his parents and other family members believe he has problems, even though he really doesn't. And then he falls in love with this girl and everything, and Laurel and Hardy are like trying to talk him out of it, but that's got a lot of funny scenes. They have this like pet crow that's like always coming around and everything, and there's the one scene where they're doing roll call inspection, and the crow comes and lands on his shoulder, on Laurel's shoulder and everything, and they have to hide him, so they put him in the back of Laurel's pants, and then
I thought it was Hardy's pants.
Or Hardy's pants, yeah, and then the crow keeps on making noise, and he keeps on like moving around, and Hardy's like acting like he's got like a stomach ache or something, and the general's like getting annoyed, and the sergeant's getting annoyed and everything. That was really funny. My least favorite is Jitterbugs. That one to me wasn't as funny. I mean, there was a few things, but that wasn't as funny as Great Guns or some of the other ones I've seen. So
yeah. All right, our last question comes from Stuart Raw. What is your favorite action scene from a recent summer blockbuster? For me, the best action scene for me was the ending fight scene near the end of Iron Man 3. I really enjoyed that. I mean, I saw a lot of summer blockbusters. World War Z had a few good moments. Even something average like Lone Ranger had a nice little train fight thing that mixed comedy with action and all that. But to me, the fight scene at the end of Iron Man 3 was the one that I enjoyed the most.
For me, my favorite scene came from World War Z, the scene where they're in the hospital and they're trying to get away from the zombies because they're starting to break in, because they know that they pretty much are going to be dead soon, because they found like the cure and everything.
Well, supposedly, yeah.
They think they did, but yeah, that was like my favorite scene, as well as the scene in the apartment building where they're like trying to get away. Also,
very good photography and shot work there. Yeah,
really good photography compared to most action or zombie movies that are around right now. And just the whole movie itself was great, because I was thinking it was going to be another letdown, but no, this was actually like more like could be like true life than most zombie outbreak movies. So yeah, that was my pick for this segment.
Okay. All right, well, that's it. We're officially closing down Ask the Critics. Again, thank you very much for watching this segment, or giving us a question to answer for you. We appreciated doing that. Maybe we'll bring this back next year. I don't know, but right now, this is going to be the last one we're going to do for the year. And again, thanks very much for watching.